Hey guys, welcome to Open Night at the Cydeer Café. I am joined by a lovely person over here called heyitsjaayy. They're going to quickly introduce themselves, tell you what they're all about, and they're going to tell you one really cool thing that not a lot of other VTubers do. They are also a physical artist in the sense of they create things physically, not physical artist, if you know what I mean. So yeah, do introduce yourself, let them know who you are, and let them know what's your vibe about.
Yeah, hi, my name's Jay. I'm a sugar glider VTuber. I normally stream games, chatting, and just general stuff like that, but I also crochet. I make plushies, mostly. I mostly make plushies, and yeah.
That's fair enough.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's no bother. I love having anyone on from all walks of life. It's a good shout. And to be fair, my lifelong partner also crochets. She sits on the couch 24/7. She's not an alcoholic. She's not a drug addict. She's a crochetaholic. I genuinely say that without being ironic. It's all she does. And
the yarn addiction is a problem. I will say.
Yarn addiction is a problem. Honestly, I'll come home and it's like one of those TikToks where the husbands come home and it's like, what have you bought from Amazon today? And it's just hobbycraft. It's just hobbycraft and an entire like 10-kilogram box of 100 balls of yarn. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, I see how it is. We got to get that yarn ball going. We're fucking coming home and I don't get nothing nice. I'm sitting there like, he gets yarn. I come home to, oh, where have you been? Bloody hell, I want some yarn. Give me some yarn. I'll throw it around. I don't care. I'll catch that bitch.
yeah, I have a whole wall of yarn. Like I have for my fuzzy yarn for my plushies, I have one of every color up on a pegboard wall, and
nice. I
have probably, like, you know, those huge tubs for storing like decorations and stuff in your basement, like the 50-gallon plastic tubs.
Yeah.
I have like 5 of those minimum full of yarn.
Nice.
Not including my yarn wall. So it's a problem. I actually have a yarn shipment coming in today.
The entire shipment. No, guys, did you hear that? Not a yarn order. Not like a little yarn box. A yarn shipment. So let's just say if there's another like Panama Canal, Suez Canal issue in the world again, it's because her yarn shipment got stuck in the canal and we ain't getting it. No one's getting their mail. It's the yarn shipment. It's completely clogged it up. What's going to happen? I call it now. What we're going to see.
I can't help it. They're just so pretty.
Let me guess. It's so chunky wool
colors.
As well. It's chunky yarn as well, isn't it? Yeah. There we go.
It's like soft, fuzzy. It's called Chanel, is what I use. It's very soft and buzzy.
Yeah.
So soft.
Chanel number 5, yeah.
Yeah. The bulky weight, yeah.
Yeah. No, I also meant the perfume that like Marilyn Monroe used to wear, Chanel number 5. But yeah.
Oh, that's huh?
Yeah, Chanel's also a perfume brand. Yeah, Chanel's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
It's fine.
I don't know much like fashion and
it's
stuff
fine.
like
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So yeah. What's it like being a physical artist on, like, as a VTuber? What's it like kind of getting commissions and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, before we start, let me get my chocolate here.
Yeah,
I gotta get my drink.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. We're in the cafe and I forgot to give her a drink. I'm such a bad host.
It's gonna get cold.
You gotta drink it. Drink it.
Yeah.
There we go.
I just nailed the fumes.
we all like inhaling fumes.
Yeah, we.
Yes. the lovely aroma of burnt leaves. Let's go. Leaf juice.
Oh yeah. So to answer your question, it's a bit weird. A lot of people don't like watching, VTubers do like physical art things. Like, say I wanna stream making a plushie or something. A lot of people will refuse to watch because it breaks immersion.
Ironically enough, I don't mean to cut you off, but I actually had this conversation last night with my other guest about breaking immersion, and I just wanted to mention something. Have you ever heard of Onigiri, the VTuber?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I watch her consistently. She's like the only one that people accept doing that.
I wouldn't even say it's like accept. I genuinely think you've just kind of got to go
Yeah.
for it. I think genuinely try like a week of doing it and see how it goes. Because I
Mm.
really think it would. I really think it would pick up. Because I even joked about this with my wife. I was like, I'm going to do a stream where I just have a camera above you, watching you like stream, like a little cat cam, but it's going to be like the crochet cam. So I genuinely,
Yeah.
everyone in my community would love that. They were sitting there going, "Oh yeah, that'd be so cool, nice little chill vibe going on in the background." So try it out. You never know. It might go
Yeah.
well. It might go well.
Yeah, like, and another thing though too is that with crochet specifically, it's so time consuming.
Yeah.
So it's not also satisfying necessarily for people to watch because you don't see it come together as quick and people have short attention spans.
Oh yeah, TikTok
And
generation. Yeah.
yeah, like one plushie for me takes about like 5 or so hours. Like on average, some take really quick, like 10-15 minutes, but for like the tiny ones, but for regular medium sized, it's about 5 hours. So yeah, a lot of people don't have that attention span.
No, that is true. That's what you do, like a marathon type thing, like a subathon. Like
Yeah.
have a countdown and be like, every time we get a sub, it increases the crochet time, and then if the countdown goes to 0, you just stream normally, and then if someone subs, you go back to crocheting type thing. That could be a cool little.
Yeah.
Like, or even
Yeah.
better yet, you could do the opposite. You could crochet, and every time you get a sub, you play 10 minutes of games. They're paying you not to crochet.
They're like, please, guys, stop it.
I can't look at the hook anymore. I've seen too many of them.
The yarn is just never ending. How many balls have you gone through?
Oh, believe me, I remember I did a stream last week, and not last week, the week before, and my wife has like a little yarn spinner thing to unravel the yarn and then put it back into a different ball. It goes from one ball to another ball.
It's called a yarn cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in a little cakes.
Yeah, that's what she does. But like, she always does it whenever
Yeah.
I'm streaming. So I'll just be streaming, chatting away to my viewers and all this. Guys, don't forget also like, subscribe, and her, just so you know, heyitsjaay's links will be below in the description. So please give her a lovely little checkout as well. But yeah, she'll make these things right when I'm streaming. And I'll just be sitting there. I've been in a really intense moment. There's silence. I'm waiting to hear someone's footsteps, and all I hear is, I'm like, the fuck's going on? Like, and it's just her being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to do it later?" I'm like, we could have asked before you did it, but okay, you do you. You do you.
It only takes like 2 to 3 minutes for each ball of yarn. It's not that long.
Yeah, but if we've had an argument, it takes 10 minutes. We'll do it slowly. Out of spite.
Just shh.
Yeah, or she'll wait until I'm like in the middle of an intense moment, and she'll be like, "Rrr," and I'm like, "Oh, come on, I wasn't that mean. Be nice to me."
Yeah.
It is what it is. But yeah, like, I say give it a go. I genuinely say give it a go, but like, it's up to you. But also, just before I forget, I will also put the link to their Twitter so you can see their X these days. X. So you can see their little portfolio of like cute critters that they make. It's actually quite nice. I do recommend. But yeah, so do you have any kind of like tips or tricks like for getting into, say, crochet? Like, say if someone wants to start crocheting, what would you recommend? Because my wife recommends granny squares to make like a little blanket, but what would you recommend?
So I mean, yes and no for granny squares. So if you want to begin learning how to crochet, I personally do not typically suggest granny squares. They are very repetitive, and for someone with attention span issues like myself, I would not. I would actually go straight into plushies. Very small ones. They have patterns on. I get mine on Etsy, or Ravelry is another crochet pattern website, or there's a lot of free ones on Instagram.
Okay.
I would look at very small plushies. Like I make little gummy bears, and they're probably about 3 inches tall at most.
Okay.
Yeah, make small plushies because you get that satisfaction of finishing it, and it's typically the simplest crochet stitch there is. It's a single crochet. It's the basic stitch, and that's all plushies are. It's just that, and then increase and decrease. You really only need three stitches for it, and you get a lot of satisfaction by having something cute and complete. Granny squares you can make 10 granny squares and still not have enough to even make a little lap blanket.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's very repetitive, and you really don't see a lot of progress, and it's a more difficult stitch. So yeah, small plushies is my suggestion. And YouTube. Use YouTube. There are so many free resources now, and you can find so many neat tutorials. And if plushies aren't your thing, make little like hair bandanas or bracelets or like keychain or like key straps, like wristlets. You can make those, coasters, small things. Make small things.
Well, if you're making a coaster, just make one granny square. There you go. One granny square and just call it a coaster. Call it a coaster.
Right. Or a pot holder, like a lot of people use, or like whenever you have a hot pot, you put it on one of those little squares so it doesn't burn your countertop.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be worried about melting?
Only if you use a certain type of yarn. Just use I think it's cotton is what's good, that won't melt.
Oh, okay.
If you use acrylic, it will melt.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, don't use the nail stuff, guys. Use the natural shiz.
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Yeah, that's my suggestions.
Well, there you go. My wife loves crochet. Like, it's all she does. She made me a jumper once. It was quite cool. Nice little sailor style heavy knit jumper. Like, I was meant to be on the open oceans doing like deadliest catch. That's how I felt. I was walking around. I wish I had like a little harpoon gun, being like, yes, I am Captain Ahab.
Yeah.
But kind of moving on from what we were talking about, like, one interesting thing I found cool. So like I always do this with all my guests, and we always talk about it. So with being a VTuber and stuff, what are your kind of opinions on the kind of VTubing community as a whole from your perspective? So like my last guest, they were talking about how they see themselves as like, they like to be themselves, but they also like to put on like more of an eccentric version of themselves as a character. How would you say you see the VTuber community? Like, how do you kind of perceive it?
Like, are you talking about mine specifically or as a whole?
As a whole.
Okay, as a whole, I think that the VTuber community is amazing. You can be yourself if you want, just behind an anime person, or you can be someone completely different. It's really, really neat. Like for me, I am mostly myself, like 99% myself. I obviously do not have ears and a tail in real life, but
I mean, you can crochet some.
I could. But yeah, I think that's really the only difference for me. I am pretty much authentically myself. Very rarely do I ever put on an act personally. However, I watch people who are both themselves and who put on an act, put on a face, a persona. And I think it's really neat that it's kind of like a choose your own adventure almost. I come from a space previously that most people would call a flesh tuber years ago, and I just didn't feel right. Like I wasn't in my right place, you know what I mean? But now I can be authentically myself and not have to worry about anything, you know? I think that's really, really neat, and I think it's really neat that everybody can do that. They can be themselves, they can be whoever they want to be. I think it's very freeing and creative. Like people have that creative outlet that they can explore with.
Like for me, I do this because I live in such a small place with me and my partner. If I was a flesh tuber, as it was, you would see my entire life in one frame, in literally that webcam little box. You would see practically my bedroom, my living room, my kitchen, my bathroom, all in one shot, because of just how small the area is. It is what it is. But also, I like the idea of like, because of what I do with it being a podcast and with myself going forward like this, I also think it's very unique because it's like I have guests on, and the guests I have on, like yourself, are guests that normal podcasts wouldn't have on. So you also get perspectives from people who normally wouldn't have that kind of outlet or like that voice to be able to talk about what we
Mhm.
talk about. Yes, I know we're talking about crochet and what it's like to be a VTuber and such.
Yeah.
But that's still a perspective and still a topic of conversation that not a lot of people would have a good frame of reference for. So it is
Yeah.
nice to be able to kind of talk about it. It's like how you see the VTuber community of being like by yourself, like you can be yourself, like however you want to
Mhm.
be. I also agree with. But I also have noticed, and I don't know if you have as well, in the past, I would say, past year or two, the level of drama within the VTuber community, especially over stuff that happened with Ninja Sanji, happened with V Shoujo, with Nyanas and VB. Like I feel like
Yeah.
the VTuber community in the past 2 years it's went through a few bits of turmoil. Have went like had its went through the ropes, went through the ringer type deal, and the
Mhm.
thing is, a lot of the time, without sounding awful, some people genuinely use the VTuber persona and like characters as a mask and as like a way to do shitty things
Yeah.
without people knowing who you are. And I really dislike that. But like, it's not all
Mhm.
doom and gloom, because the vast 99.9% of YouTubers are very nice people. They're just usually shy, introverted, or just don't have a lot of space in their life like me. So don't worry. Please do join the VTuber community if you do. But just remember to take everything you see and hear with a grain of salt is all I will say for a bit of advice
Mhm.
from my side of things. But I mean, it is
Yeah.
what it is. It is what it is. Because that's just life, isn't it?
Right. And like my thing about it is I try to keep up to date with like general news and stuff, not only like in the world but also in the VTuber community, so that way I
Yeah.
know, you know, if there is something going on, I can make sure that my community is safe, and if
Yeah.
anybody needs to talk, and I am here and I am current with what's going on, if they would need to talk about something that upset them or that made them happy. I want to be that figure that people can come to if they need to talk about anything. And I stay out of a lot of the drama because it's just not for me.
Yeah.
I just think if it doesn't affect me directly, I'm just kind of gonna like keep tabs on it but not get in it, you know? Like I'm not gonna comment on people's posts and think, oh my god, you're a terrible person. Oh my god, you need to not support this person. I don't
Yeah.
want that negativity in my community. I want to be a positive, safe place. I will say there has been some really shitty things that people have done
Yeah.
and that companies have done, but there's also really good things that some other people have done and some good things that some other companies have done, and I'd
Yeah.
rather focus on the positivity rather than the negativity.
Exactly. Best way to
Hmm.
be.
Yeah.
But
And like I said, I do keep tabs on it.
yeah.
I do make sure that I am informed and I look at all sides. I myself have a personal opinion on things. Whether I publicly put that out there is a different story. It very much depends on the situation. Like I will say for the like you had mentioned Niji and Doki Bird. I fully support Doki Bird. Like
Uh.
I support her and I will be public about that because I
Yeah.
also I don't know if you know or if I told you, I actually donated 2 crochet plushies to her charity auction.
Oh wow. That's so cute.
And yeah, so my 2 of my items were auctioned off during her charity thing. So if people really looked into it, they can kind of see where I am
No,
in
of course.
that
Yeah.
sort of side.
I did want to
But
ask, who is? Sorry, I know about the Niji Sanji drama with that.
yeah,
I think it was Serena. I don't know about the Doki Bird thing. I don't know. I might be getting
Doki
mixed up.
Bird is Selene. Yeah,
Selene, that was
Selene.
enough. Serena.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Selene. Yeah,
Serena's.
no, you're good. Yeah, I
But
was like,
wasn't
I
that
don't know,
like?
Sarita.
Yeah, I was just saying, Serena, wasn't that the whole thing of like, if I remember correctly, it was she was having some health problems, like in real life, she was not
Yeah.
doing the best, and then she must have scheduled a release of a video, but they
Yeah.
didn't want her to release it. But with her current state of health and stuff, she wasn't able to unschedule it on her end. Which in my mind, I know that's a bit dramatic, but also if you're a corporate VTuber, you wouldn't be the only one who has access to the ability to publish or unpublish a video. So if you're sick and in hospital, why don't they have access to the YouTube channel to be able to do that? It seems a bit short-sighted on their side.
Yeah, so me personally, like I've read all of the sources. I don't believe that I have all of the facts in order
Hmm.
to determine if Niji did have access. I'm sure they did, but I don't know if she was unable to schedule because she was in the hospital. I know she was in and out at that time, but I don't know the exact time frame. So I don't know about that specific scenario, but I know that they really kind of effed her over.
Yeah.
What I really side with her about is the whole artist thing.
Yeah.
She spent a lot of money of her own to pay artists that Niji had commissioned, and they just completely ghosted the artist, which to me is
It's very shitty.
unacceptable.
It is.
Yeah, so I'll explain. So I went on hiatus a while back because unfortunately my one of my sugar gliders had passed away. I actually own sugar gliders in real life.
Oh,
One of them had passed away, and he was the one that was more bonded to me. So I had
yeah.
went on hiatus for a while, and I just was not on any social media, and I accidentally ghosted two of my artists. One of them was my model artist, and another one was for a PC background starting soon screen.
Yeah.
And I was in such a bad headspace that I accidentally ghosted them, and
Ooh.
I felt awful. Like it was months. Like I didn't go on social media for months because I was so like my whole VTuber is about sugar glider. Like I am
Yeah.
a sugar glider, and my model specifically is based off of him.
Yeah.
And my mascot is based off of my second sugar glider. So anytime I saw my model or even my username, it just
Yeah.
brought it all back. So I didn't go on for months, and I completely forgot that I had commissioned somebody, or two people. And when I came back, I felt awful because one thing I pride myself on is supporting my artist and paying them
Yeah.
and making sure that I am responsive and everything.
Yeah.
As soon as I came back, I told them, "Hey, I am so sorry for ghosting you," and I immediately paid them, and I paid them extra because I normally do because I tip artists because I think that they deserve it. But yeah, I immediately paid them and dealt with it, and I explained to them and made sure that we were good. But the fact that a company who didn't have anything going on, who has multiple people who were able to contact artists and had access to the financials, the fact that they didn't pay artists and just ghosted them for no reason is unacceptable. Like life things happen, and not to excuse my behavior with what happened with me,
Yeah.
but I rectified it
Yeah.
immediately
Of course.
as
Yeah.
soon as I realized, because as soon as I logged back into my socials months later, they messaged me and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I fixed it immediately. And I credit all of my artists extensively. Like actually just yesterday I made a whole thread about all of the art that I had commissioned and
Yeah.
all of the artists, and I put all their usernames and the art that they did so that way people can go and look. I have it listed on my Twitch, I have it in my Discord server.
Yeah.
Niji also has a history of not really crediting people when it's due. And I just don't
Yeah.
think that's unacceptable. So that's one thing that I support Doki with, is that she does support artists, and she paid out of her own pocket. I think it was, don't quote me on this, I think it was like $200,000
Jeez.
out of her own pocket. I think. Don't
I
quote
wish
me.
I wish I had that money to spend on art. Jesus.
Yeah, and she also said, I believe, again, what I say is just what I had read. I don't know fully facts. I'm pretty sure she had said on one of her streams as Doki, she made no profit one year. Like she made $0 because she had put so much money back into her community and artists and everything that Niji didn't. She made like zero money. And that's crazy. So in that point of view, back to the beginning, I don't support Niji for that reason.
That's fair.
And I support Doki for that reason. Now, all the other talents, I think that the company itself has some issues that it needs to fix.
Yeah.
And obviously, some of the talents are great, and some of them probably aren't behind the scenes. We don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the whole. That's two sides of the same coin. It's good and it's bad about the anonymity of VTubers.
Yeah.
We don't know what goes on behind the screen.
That is
don't.
true. But to be fair, that's why everyone in my community, at least on Discord and Twitter and TikTok, all know what I look like IRL. I do not hide my face and stuff. Because for one, I don't want people being like, oh, making it their goal to find out what I look like, because then they'll just start delving into shit I don't want them to. So if I'm open about it, it's like, well, what are you gonna do? But also, going to the Niji thing and other corporate VTubers, I must give it to them. So like Hololive and Niji I don't agree with a whole lot, because the talents who are in those communities, their characters that they have and the models they have aren't theirs. They're the corporations type thing. And like to a certain point, I understand. And if they've come in to play a character that they haven't played before, that is fully fine. That makes sense, because then they've came in to that character. They haven't made that character themselves, and then Niji Sanji's just started supporting them as that character. Whereas these shoujo,
like how real life actors, like you can't claim that you played Katniss Everdeen. Like you can't claim that as your own character, own entity. You were paid to act. So it's kind of the same thing.
Exactly. Whereas I like Vshoujo only because the characters that they have and the people they have go into Vshoujo as they are. So like Iron Mouse was Iron Mouse prior to Vshoujo, and if she ever leaves Vshoujo, she will be Iron Mouse still yet again, because they do not own the IP. But also, I've always found that Vshoujo's models and characters are more down to earth. I know they have a bit of, like they're all a bit extravagant and elaborate and have like their own characters and stuff, but they're not like these edgy anime boys and anime girls, or like the ditty airheads type thing like you see in Niji Sanji and Hololive, where like that's their entire vibe, is that they're an idiot, or that they're a really good singer, and that's all they are. They every single character from Niji Sanji and Hololive, at least in my opinion, all seem to be kind of one-sided. They don't kind of have a depth to them. What you see is what you get, but that's all you get, there's no kind of inner monologue or depth to it. Whereas like Iron Mouse has health problems, and that adds to her character, as well as being a professional opera singer, which also adds to her character. But she's also quite fun to watch when she plays games, and it's nice that she speaks in a different language and stuff.
I relate to that, because I also am disabled, so I completely like, she's more relatable. In a sense, I personally feel that like Hololive or Niji, they are corporate. They are playing a role for a job. They were brought on to act, and that's what they were contracted to do. I also tend to find that the designs are very, very, very similar in the fact that they use like the exact same artist all the time, whereas with Bishoujo, for example, they own their IP. They can do what they want. They can face reveal if they want. They can they can commission other people with very limited permission from Bishoujo to have a different model. Iron Mouse has dozens of models from all different artists. Like she has so many different styles. It's not the exact same style. They change outfits pretty often. They show more of their real personality rather than acting a persona, which I get that they're acting in some form of capacity, even if it's just a little bit. You have to, with streaming and content creation, you have to kind of, you gotta be more entertaining, because you're not I'm not gonna sit here and like make all these different facial expressions and stuff while I'm talking to you normally. That's weird. I would look weird if I did that. Like there's some form of acting and like playing in your skin suit, you know what I mean?
Like you're almost like embellishing yourself. You're embellishing like you're streaming.
A more entertaining version.
Yeah, exactly. You're streaming, but then you've got everyone's seeing the bedazzled version of you.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. That really is how it should be.
Yeah, and I do like Vshoujo. They're one of the people that I'm openly supportive of, like Corpo, if you will.
I don't
necessarily watch a lot of corporate VTubers. It's very rare for me to. Yeah. It feels too forced in my opinion. Which, if you love Corpo, I'm not at all judging you. I just personally
I will
have
be.
this take on it.
I will
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, you can. I won't. But yeah, I think Vtuber is one of the corpos that I do consistently support and am
Yeah.
openly supporting. And
I
like
mean,
I follow a lot of indies, but I also don't watch a lot of like a certain type of indie. You know,
yeah.
there's that whole thing too.
Yeah, I'd like, for
So
me, I'm not the biggest fan of like the guys who only do ASMR stuff or like,
I hate.
yeah, like I
I
have three types of YouTubers I will not watch. One, ASMR streams, so I just find it really weird and kind of like intrusive for some reason. I dislike it. Which is,
It
you know, to
hurts
each their
me.
own. If people
My
want to do that,
ears.
yeah, I'm the same. If people want to do that, go ahead.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I also don't like the whole lewd streamers because I'm like, yeah,
I have a whole hot take on that. I
yeah.
don't know
I'm
if you want
like,
me to get into that, but
I'll let you get into it in just a sec. But like, I'm not a big fan
yeah.
of lewd tubers only because I'm like, you might as well just have OnlyFans at that point, and most of them do, in all fairness. And I'm like, but
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. Like, look, I know I'm not trying to be a prude, but I'm like, I'm on Twitch to watch games, to watch just chatting. I'm not on Twitch
Yeah.
to watch and like Amaranth with hot pool streams and shit like that. Like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't like the ones who their entire persona online is just a persona. Like, they are nothing like they are in real life. Because it comes across as fake, and I'm like, yeah, play a character, but play a character that's similar to yourself, but embellish it, you know? Like, if you are like a quiet kind of person, you're a bit introverted, play the quiet and mysterious type where you've kind of got a bit of an edge to yourself. If you're extroverted, be the loud and cool person, but try not to go on the other side of the parcel. Don't do the opposite of what you are, because you won't be able to keep it up, and you can see the cracks every stream, and for me, it's just not a vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. I get that completely.
Yeah.
I understand.
I do get it, but yeah, what was your hot take? And after we finish the hot take,
So-
we'll say goodbye after the hot take. So there you go.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get heat for this.
fine.
I don't like LootTubers.
No.
Like not necessarily the people. I just don't like the concept. Kind of like what you said, like just get an OnlyFans at that point. It's the right content for some people do want to watch that.
Yeah.
My thing is that I tend to find that people and I know there's exceptions to generalizations. People make it their whole personality online, which if that is truly you, go for it, boo. You do you. Yeah. I personally, I am very wholesome. I am a say-so person.
Yeah, I'm in between.
I really don't talk about any sort of like sexual things. Like my friends make jokes and it just flies right over my head. Yeah. I just I just don't get it. I just like my thing is like when also the body proportions doesn't make sense half the time.
No, they really don't.
It's distracting.
Yeah, and you know what?
Personally,
and you know what? To add to that, right? To add to what you were just saying, I also find a lot of the drama when it comes on VTuber, because I don't know why, streaming drama is like someone said something bad, like about someone else, and there's drama because they've said this streamer's a shithead or something, and that's where the drama is. Whereas when VTubers, a lot of the drama is like borderline criminal level shit on the LootTuber side, and I'm like, 9 times out of 10, if there is VTuber drama, it is a LootTuber and they have done something borderline criminal as a LootTuber. Yeah. And I'm like, for me, you can't trust it. And fair enough, if people want to do that, that's what they want to do. I will not like put them down at all. I do not trust it because I've seen so many of them kind of turn that route. And again, it's a generalization, and not all of them will be like this. But it's almost like some people use it as an excuse to get away with stuff that you wouldn't be able to in real life. And I'm like, I kind of don't like the vibe of that. So I try to stay clear of it personally.
Yeah, like I was saying, I do not care if somebody wants to be a LootTuber if that's their whole thing. I have friends who are primarily LootTubers. Like it's not that I dislike them as a whole. It's just that for me, there's a certain section, and there's some like say so VTubers that have done some questionable things as well. It's not just LootTubers, it's not just VTubers, it's also FleshTubers. It's everybody as a whole thing. I just think that it's a bit much for me.
Yeah.
If it's what people want to watch, you watch it. If it's what you want to be, you be it. You just won't see that on my timeline or really on any of my streams.
Yeah, same.
Because honestly, like one of my things about it is kids lie on the internet all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Like they make accounts and they lie about the birthday on there. So if like on like P websites, if you know what I mean. I don't know if I can say that word.
No, I know you can't actually on YouTube.
Corn websites.
Yeah. Corn on a cob, guys. That's what you're saying. Corn on a cob.
Corn on a cob websites.
Yeah.
They're accessible to people without logging in, but it's a lot easier to regulate that on a website like Twitch or Twitter.
You can't.
Kids lie about it all the time. YouTube.
Yeah,
it's on YouTube all the time nowadays.
And that's where you get the borderline criminal shit, and you just got to avoid it.
Yeah, and I think that, and then my other thing is that when you do that, or like people do that, they get upset when they get banned on something like Twitch.
Yeah.
You were kind of signing up for that if you have big bahonkadonks that take up 3/4 of your model. You know what I mean?
No,
like
exactly.
Because there's difference between artistic interpretation and sexuality or like sexual content. There's a difference. And not to say that, you know, those people deserve to be banned. A lot of them don't. But since there are some bad eggs that have caused some issues, and with the internet being so accessible now, kids are just they're consuming so much media, and you can never really control who sees your content. Like, I hope she doesn't see this, but I have a niece that's 12. She knows that I'm a VTuber and everything. She actually has a secret Twitter account that my family found out about. She follows me, and I'm not gonna obviously out her for that. And about what her username is, I'm never gonna do that because she's 12. She follows me. She doesn't know that I know it's her. She thinks that I don't know it's her, but I'm not going to tell her that I know it's her because I can, 1, monitor it, and 2, I know that I don't post anything inappropriate. My thing is, if I don't want my family seeing it, I'm not going to post it. Because it's probably very easy to find people on the internet. Like, since I was a FleshTuber before, my face is out there somewhere. People can pretty easily find my face. If I don't want my family finding it, I'm not going to post it. And I think a lot of people, if they post stuff, I don't think they would want their family seeing it. And some people, they're okay with that. Me personally, I would feel a little weird about it. So I post what I'm comfortable with, and I post what I'm comfortable people seeing. So, like, my family's seeing, especially because my niece is at that age where she is starting to get secret accounts online. We all did it at this age.
Especially on
if you grew up in the age of
Tumblr. The Tumblr.
We don't want to get into my old Tumblr account.
Yeah, let's not do that.
It's or like DeviantArt, like those ones that have been around forever. We all did it. And I just, since it is so accessible, and she knows that I'm a VTuber, and she does follow me, I don't want her seeing certain stuff, and I'm not gonna like stuff on my Twitter account. I actually don't have a personal flesh account, I guess, or like one that I use my real name on. I only have one Twitter account. I don't even have an alt. It's just me. So anything I like is what I am okay with people seeing, because my likes are public. So
that makes sense.
That's just my take on it.
No, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, guys, we're coming to the end of open night, the Cydeer Café. The shutters are coming down. The coffee's been steeped. The boba has been bulbed. You know, we're there. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, Jay, for being on the show. I really appreciate you coming across and having a nice hot cup of hot chocolate. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you being here. But yeah, I'll say good night if it's nighttime for you, and if it is daytime, get back to work. You shouldn't be watching a VTuber while you're at work, bro. Unless it's the weekend, then, you know, keep going. But thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and check out Jade. Links will be in the description below. Hope you guys have a really good night. I'm going to say goodbye, and then Jade. Right, so good night, guys. Peace.